worst bet I ever made financially and future-wise. You have to bear in mind that I was told that I was going to die. So I made a decision to basically sell my house and sell it just into the market quickly and get rid of the mortgage, understanding that we were on the edge of a major financial meltdown, global one, right? And the reason I knew this is because I had buddies who worked in the financial services sector, and they gave me a key piece of information. The key piece of information was, I haven't written a mortgage for a first-time buyer for 12 months. Excuse me. Yeah, have a look. Have a look in my book. And he pulled the book out, and it was just a basic book he kept for himself with appointments in and then figures and things like that. And he's like, month. So he goes back in his book like 3 years. First, they were all new. They were all first-time buyers. And then they were all first-time buyers. And so I look at them mostly all 90, 80, 70. And then eventually gets to this as to where 12 remortgages. And it's like, it took a while for the thing to drop with him. And he says, I've just realised. I'm like, you ain't seen that pattern until now. I've been so busy. And then it's like, well, the customers that I mortgaged 3 years ago, I've now remortgaged them all. It's become a business of turnover. But I'm thinking, if there's no first-time buyers, it's a Ponzi scheme. Because people haven't stopped being born. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So house prices are going to have to fall because the housing market's no longer available to the first-time buyer. Meaning your prices are all wrong because your demands are out. So price discovery should crash the price of the market. But then it's a matter of, yeah, but what about all this fucking dodgy mortgage paper? And we knew about dodgy mortgage paper at the bottom, which caused the derivative crisis. There are a lot of dodgy mortgage paper about it. It's like, what about this dodgy mortgage paper? So it's like, I had a heads up that the housing market was going to collapse, right? It didn't collapse, it was bailed out. The government saved it. I bet on the government not saving it and lost. I bet on the market doing what the market was supposed to do if the game was fair, right? And lost because the government bailed everybody out. They didn't just bail the banks out, they bailed the consumers out. When people say they bailed the banks out, it's like, no, they bailed you out. It's like them artificially low interest rates and that great big offsetting of those bad assets meant that life could carry on as normal for you and you never felt the repercussions of that. Not really. All that happened is banks stopped lending money for as cheap for a while and then it went back to normal. And they just kicked the can down the road. Because it's like, fundamentally, it's like them dodgy bits of paper. There was bricks and mortar in the world that was that had asset value that was leveraged against them. They weren't frivolous. They weren't frivolous bets done by the people who get blamed for it, the derivatives traders. They were actually frivolous bets or frivolous deals done by mortgage brokers, all of them. And fundamentally, a consumer at the end of it who's lied about his situation or has lost his job by a change of circumstances. There was a thing going on at the time as to where the governments that we had were crazy about outsourcing. Labour government at the time in the UK, crazy about outsourcing. So the housing market was booming and booming and booming, and the cost of accommodation was getting higher and higher and higher at the same time they were overseeing or making it so that places could export their manufacturing bases to foreign countries. They basically outsourced their industry at the same time as they fueled the bubble. So it's like They were working to bring society down at the same time as pumping it full of credit. So it's like, oh, this is bigger than finance. This is about politics. This is about social conditioning and programming. This isn't really a financial crisis. Why? Because no one's going to pay. They're going to press some buttons and they're going to sign some pieces of paper and they're going to make it go away. So those of us who kind of played fair, as if the world was a fair place, lost out. It's like, oh no, you would have been far better off just sitting in your little 2-bedroom house, John. It's like you'd have owned it by now and hardly paid anything for it. It's like you thought that there was rules and there isn't. So then, this gets me thinking. There was some guy who was crying on Twitter to Joe Biden that why aren't people who've lost money on Bitcoin getting a bailout like the students are? Alright. Fuck me, how much money could you have lost on Bitcoin over the last couple of years? When you look at that buy-in price at like $50,000 for a Bitcoin, that price up there like that, and you look at that, oh my God, it's like the amount of money that's been fucking siphoned out of that one. And it's like, no new customers. As soon as your new customers dry up, if it's a Ponzi scheme, it'll fall on its face, and it fucking is. It's a speculative investment. It's not currency, Bitcoin. It's a speculative investment. It's never been a currency. It's only got value because it can be disseminated into dollars. It's like, it makes no sense. It's like, what is it a measure of? It's like, we can understand that money, the concept of that we've been, brought in, traditionally, the world's brought us. It's like saved up work and energy. It's like blood, sweat and tears. We can understand what money is. What's it backed by? Oh, trust that there's really a fucking state. Is there really a state? Well, yes and no, but yes, fundamentally, because the fucking electric works. So yes, it's worth something. And if they decide that if other people decide that it's not worth as much as they like, it's like we got nuclear missiles that say that our fucking money's good. It's backed by force and violence. It's like, what's Bitcoin backed by, really? And I give that, people say, because people will say fiat currencies, government currencies are backed by nothing. I'm like, right, okay, stop fucking handling them then. Stop handling them and see what happens when you don't pay your fucking bills. If you steal people's money, it's like, expect them to come after you. Someone kill you for it. Fight to life. Like, blockchain. The number of times people have told me that I'm too stupid to understand the technology. Right? Of that, because I tell you, it's a manipulative psychobabble. I'm from the IT business and been surrounded by computer nerds for a lot of my life. And it's like, okay, blockchain. Your technology, it's like, well, it's fundamentally, it's like, only a machine can write to the server. Oh, so it's like an old point-of-sale database, like an AS400, an IBM system, point-of-sale systems from the 90s, where they're able to, like, completely computerize the warehouse using the old barcode scan. It's like, yeah, they were like self-writing databases that could only be, written as they were issued. It's like, yeah, it's been done. It's not new technology. It's old technology, but it's not technology that you're familiar with. you found another application for the bullshit, because if someone was to show you in 1995 and 96 a place like I used to work at Woolworths, right, and you were from a place where computers were quite rare still, you might know someone who had an old crappy thing in the bedroom with a printer. And you're like, this place is fully fucking computer controlled and monitored. What? Oh yeah. It's like, you guys, because it's like when I first worked there, I was someone who unpacked things. Unpacked larger packs into smaller packs. So I was on the dock, unloading stuff and stuff like that when I first were there. And it's like, so what happens here? Right, well, we put the paperwork in, we pass it to her, who's the data processor. She just verifies that the numbers are right based on our count and what the paperwork says, and then just tells the system, good to go. The system already knows how fucking big the boxes are. The system already knows the weight of them, and the system will automatically give it a place in the warehouse, and the system will automatically send a job to this stacker driver to go and move the thing. And he never has to stop. Nothing ever stops in the place. It's just press that return button, whole thing sent in motion. It's like stunning. It's like every item that's scanned through a till in every Woolworths store in the country, we get updated on our system. And our system automatically produces pink runs to replenish the stock that's been sold. So the place, as long as they rotate their stock, they don't have to have a stock room anymore. They don't have to keep things on site anymore. We can deal with absolutely everything. So we have a central logistics hub where retail is retail and logistics are logistics, and we know when they've sold something the second they sell it, and the computer is creating a pick run. You're like, that's fucking amazing. It's like, yeah, that's why we're profitable. That's why this company can make money on such small margin. It's because all that planning with people doing the job, you'd have 100 people planning the job, where we don't have anyone planning the job. Our beautiful IBM, bespoke built, state of the art, multi-million pound computer is doing it for us. It'd be like, this is like IBM's number one product. It's like you don't need to see IBM stamped all over everything to know that IBM are massive. Still to this day, and it's like, why? It's like, well, they've got that's their proprietary technology, the point of sale systems that keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, as to now where you can just swipe your card and beep, good. Once it was all about security, now it's about ease for them, how cheap they can make the processing because they can get a computer to do it. No human hands. It's about saving money by eliminating jobs. This. So it's like, I'm aware of this technology because I saw it in its infancy. And it's just the same thing. It's just the same. You understand the principle of what they're doing. Databases that write themselves and can only be accessed by software, can only be accessed by proprietary software, and it's all locked in. It's not really fair enough. Is that it? I've seen that system before. You're telling me this is a new invention. Why have I seen this system before? Why is this a system that's widely available and so widely used now, no longer recognised for the technological miracle that it is? Oh, it's now new. Blockchain. Okay. Like chain letter? So people got blood on their hands over Bitcoin, the way they've talked it up, and been gatekeepers for it. They've talked it up like the gold bugs used to. Alex Jones, Peter Schiff, those people on the internet gold bugs. There's loads do it now. They think they're doing the other day, there was a video put up by, I think, Lawrence Southern. It was short. So I'm like, oh, well, what's she on about? Right? Minute and a half it were an advert for Noble Gold. Same with that Mr. Reagan. Everything he does, it's like, I need an excuse to make a video. It's how it just comes across to me. I need an excuse to make a video in order to get this advert in for this gold. And it's like, you're gold bugging. You're shilling for the gold bugs. It's like people make money with gold using foreign exchange. It's about a rock of consistency of value in a world of ever-changing currency values. So it's a refuge. It's like, that's not something that you should be buying and locking up in a safe or in a safety deposit box. No, it's like you're making it so those who trade the stuff can make fabulous amounts of money in foreign exchange. And you're forcing up the price of gold by taking it out of circulation. You're forcing it up thinking you're invested in it. It's like, now you're just making the gold more valuable for those who constantly move it and use it to trade in foreign currencies. Forex is the marketplace to make money on gold, not gold. So you create a world where these guys can then become forex speculators because their gold has now been overvalued, and it's like, oh right, okay, we're on like supercharged gold. So you would actually invest when the money markets do knee-jerk things, like great windows for making money selling things like gold. Was like Brexit. When the Brexit vote came in and there was a sudden dip in the value of the pound versus the dollar. You gotta cash in on that. There's always going to be that kind of crisis. Just wait until it comes and cash in on it. That's what someone who sits on gold does. Isn't that why the Rothschilds are so evil? Well, anyone can play that game. You've seen those conspiracy videos on the internet saying how to make money at it. And then the same people selling it, telling you that, are saying that's why you should secure your future with gold. But they've got a mind for you to put it under your bed. So you can't eat that. And as hard as it is, it's not a particularly good weapon. It's like... I'd rather have a claw hammer than a bar of gold when push comes to shove, Zombies and the like. I'd rather have a claw hammer than a bar of gold. Just saying. Because, I've got a claw hammer. You see, your Bitcoin thing where it's a matter of, right, hang on. I've been fully aware and trying to put it out as to, well, look, I think this is scammy. It's just got all the hallmarks of it. You see that the market grows and then it dips, and it's like when it gets to a high price, those who've got in early, they take the money out of it. They get out of Bitcoin, and they get out of Bitcoin as fast as they can. You'd be stupid not to. Get out as fast as you can. Go in, make some, even knowing that it's a fucking scam. Talk it up. Everyone who's in it talks it up. Why haven't I heard about it for months? Because nobody's talking it up anymore. Nobody's telling me, oh, you fucked up, John. You could have been in on Bitcoin at £1. I'm like, yeah, I know. But when it was first put to me, I said, this is a scam. Looks like a chain letter. And someone who'd bought into it completely, who's likely now, he probably thinks he's rich. I'm very well out of it. Like, as soon as it triggers in me, the nice Ponzi scheme, I'm not going to go anywhere near it, even if there is fucking money to be made fleecing people. How easy would it have been for me to be talking up that Bitcoin? Well, if you want free money, Bitcoin, that fucking Stefan Molyneux, right, talked it up for years. And then when people objected to it, called them stupid, said they weren't smart enough to understand the technology. Okay, if that's the way you operate. Years of it. People would say to him, I'm in a bit of a poverty trap. It's like, I'd take a job, but I'd only be about £10 a week better off. You know, things like that. And he'd say, buy Bitcoin, free money. It's like, if you want money, Bitcoin, just get Bitcoin, and you'll have money. You don't have to worry about money anymore. Just get Bitcoin. He actually gave that to somebody as like financial advice who seriously asked him, how the best to get out of my fucking hole? Because there's no really good answer for that. That's why it's such a good question, isn't it? And he just threw straight at it, Bitcoin. Like, you're shilling for it. And you should know better. You'd be someone who'd be cracking on that you're practically an expert in the notion of economics, and it's a matter of what's this backed by, right? Men with guns will turn up for dollars, won't they? Will they turn up for Bitcoin? Whichever way you want to dice it. We live in a weird world now, so the rules have changed ever so slightly. But we're at that country that we're talking of. Oh, we're going to make Bitcoin. You can spend your crypto here. Some El Salvador, a place like that. It's like, oh, that's handy, isn't it? It's like there's never been a chain letter scam got as far as that one, and it's because the babble and the you'd say almost intellectual sort of rigour of those who pushed it, gate kept it. It's like a measure on their integrity as well, because it's trust, it's money, isn't it? We're talking about money. So come on, how much money's someone who watches my videos, how much money have they tanked on Bitcoin and are now suffering from some kind of buyer's remorse over it? And it be something I've spoken of in the past. Everyone knows what it feels like, buyer's remorse. Where's the Bitcoin buyer's remorse? I seem to sense it, because it's like those who used to come to me to tell me how foolish I was for not being involved in the crypto, I haven't heard from them. Not a word. Whereas I'm like, get out of that. You've done all right. Take your money out of it. Walk away from that, because I'm telling you that's a scam. And it went as far as put it to most of them. Look, when the greenies, the environmentalists, when they get the notion that Bitcoin is a measure of wasted electricity, they're going to shut you down. They're going to make what you do seem like a moral crime and absurdity. And they're going to go to war with you. And you're done. So the politicians will destroy you. And you know what the politicians are like now, don't you? If they ain't got a piece of the action, they're going to shut you down. So it's like, just wait till Greta Thunberg decides to go in hard on you and you're done. What? Yeah, just that. It's like the environmentalists can just wipe you out anytime they want. They can also, crank that electricity supply that you massively rely upon to continue the illusion that this is some kind of moving system. This Bitcoin mining. What happens the day that stops? Oh, no more Bitcoins. Oh, okay, so we just agree that the ones that are in existence have got all the value, and then it's a currency, is it? it's nothing, is it? It's not even where they say, you know, fiat money could be said to be printed from fresh air, but it's like, no, there's a ledger. Someone pays. There is a ledger. There's a debt outstanding. It's on the ledger. It's like people go, but the ledger stays. There is an accounting. And it's backed by force. You stop taking their money, we might just take over your fucking country and make sure. It's like you look at World War II. All the fucking countries in Europe had all the currency stolen. And Reichsmarks. So Germany was exporting debt with worthless currency. So I can't believe those who have pushed Bitcoin don't understand those parallels, don't understand the nature of value, don't understand the nature of like debt. Talk all this crap up as to say, oh, my inflation, fiat currency. It's like, but there is an accounting, isn't there? We know how much we owe. So it's not really fresh air, is it? It might be just on paper. They used to say that, well, on paper. Now it's just fresh air, it's just wind, it's just on paper. What does that mean? That's not real. We can all lie. It's like, it took years, I'll say, right, to mystify the notion of money and money creation in order to create these speculative markets in gold and then Bitcoin. I'm saying the guys who sold gold and turned that into a bubble internet investment are the same people who migrated to Bitcoin because they worked out that they could sell a virtual product and it'd be more scalable and there'd be more money because fundamentally it's just them guys' ability to sell it. So it's like Bitcoin salesmen of the world. No one's got any right to demand a refund from them. They got their money out, didn't they? All the suckers now sat with that must be absolutely seething. I got sympathy for you because, hey, you know, I used to have a big problem with me gambling. I get it. The old past the point of no return thing. All or nothing. I've been that guy. It's part of why I'm here now doing little. It's part of who I am. So when I smell that danger, it's because that danger is real.